Good evening to you, welcome to Robboland's vids. My name is Rob Wheatley. I don't know what time of day or evening it is where you are here. It's just gone 11 at night, so I don't have to be quiet because I haven't got any neighbours. So I can shout as much as I like, you see. I can make as much noise as I like. I could plug an electric guitar in right now and turn it up on full and just blag, I could. But I can't, you see. I can't because of this. It's a knife. It's a very sharp knife. It's a very sharp knife that I bought today. Now, you see, in England, you see, this knife is so sharp, it's even got on here, a little, that bit there, is a sharpener. It's got a little thing in it, and when you open the thing, it sharpens it every single time, which is... So, I was in town today. Went to Colchester to buy some clothes and some other bits and pieces. Had to buy some shirts, some shoes, a new pair of jeans, some other bits and pieces, some batteries, blah 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 blah, dishcloths, just loads of general tat that I hate going into Colchester because it's a big town and lots of people are there, so I tend to avoid it if I can. But today was really, there was no way around it. I had to go in, so I did. And well, in America, you see, you can buy guns in every shop, apparently, according to what we over here in England think America's like. You just go into a shop and say, oh, can I have a hamburger and a bag of guns? They just give you a bag of guns. They say, what more guns with it? Yeah, cheers, throw on some guns. And you know, you have gun shops, you go, hey, you got any guns? Yeah, loads of them. Look, just have some guns. And I assume that they're just on the shelves. You just pick them up, wave them around, and go, oh, what's in here? Oh, look, there's nothing in there, that's good. Because the bloke behind the counter, the person behind the counter, the woman behind the counter, the gender indifferent person behind the counter has probably got more and bigger guns than you have, so it doesn't really matter. Over here, you see, you can't buy guns for a start because we don't have them. You can buy BB guns, toy BB guns, but you're not allowed to have them if they're painted black because they might look a bit too much like a real gun. So you can buy almost exact replica BB guns, but they'll be bright orange or bright blue or transparent. And it's technically not legal to paint them black. So obviously the first thing everyone does is buy one and paints it black, and you've got this thing, why? You know, it's just like, what? I suppose people use them as, you know, use them to hold places up and go, look, this isn't a BB gun, it's a real gun. And you say, oh look, it's black, it must be a real one. You know. So, anyway, I went into one big shop, this place called Wilkinson's, which is, oh God, it's like a zoo, except all the animals are on the inside, you know, it's just like, it's like a zoo. The animals and the people looking at them are on the inside. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's a shop where everything is like really inexpensive, or I think cheap is the right word. And you can buy loads of guff in there for very little money, but just this massive queue. There's like a queue of about 40 people, and they're all doing this, and you're going there, and you go here and there, and you go, oh, someone calls out, oh, till number 4, and you go, oh, move a bit forward. But luckily, lots of the people who shop in there seem to take all of their entire families, like 6 generations. So even though you might be behind 30 people, that's only actually 2 families, you know, that's 2 people and all their kids and grandkids and great-grandkids and everything else, and cousins and mothers and brothers. So the queue actually moves quite quick. Now, one of the things I had to buy was a new kitchen knife. I bought myself a new chopping board, I bought myself some new drying up cloths, you know, because I work in a kitchen now, so I'm getting all, you know, getting all professional about this rubbish. You know, I'm not just sitting there, not just putting things in the microwave and waiting for them to go bing. I'm standing there and going, oh look, oh bing, like, you know, you see, Gordon Ramsay. And so I thought I'd buy myself a decent kitchen knife, because for years all I've had is this Opinel, this carbon and steel knife, and it dulls very quickly, and it's not. What it's made for is for cutting nets on French fishing boats. You know, if you're a French fisherman, I get my Opinel, and it's for doing all that and gutting fish and stuff. But I've had that for years. So today I thought I'd buy myself a nice knife. So I've got this Sabatier thing, and it's very nice. It costs a few quid, but to get it in the shop, now I won't wave it around because that's how accidents happen. And right, kids, that's why there's no guitar playing on this video, by the way, in case you're wondering. We don't have band-aids either here. We do, but I don't. I just have to use toilet paper and sellotape, and this is about the 4th one, because they've all just... But, so... You can't... It's one thing not selling knives to kids under, like, you know, 10 years old or 4 or something, because they have their eye out, or just all these eyes on... But... You know, and Colchester is quite a stabby town anyway, you know, so generally there's people just waiting off the end of the train, just giving you a knife as you get off the train. Oh, mate, you might need this to defend yourself. You just go and stab a few people and give it to the next person. They stab a few people and eventually they wash it off and they give it back. It's like, that was great. So, so I'm in this shop and I see this knife and I think, oh, that'll do, I'll have that, you know, so... And I'll go to pull it off the bloody rack, and it's tied onto the rack with this like bit of thing with an alarm on it. Oh God, so I suddenly look over and there's like 6 people who work in the shop, all standing there, all talking to each other, and they're doing this thing where every time you look and you get one of their attention, they sort of do that. They don't just look away like that because they haven't seen you. They do it like that to show that they haven't seen you, which completely ruins the effect, because now you know they've seen you because they've suddenly put their hand up and gone, oh no, I can't see him. And the other person they're talking to, the other shop assistant, gone, oh, what are you looking at? And they look over and they go, oh no, you have to help someone. And so in the end I just stood in the middle of these people and they just carried on gassing. I'm just standing there like... And they stopped talking. After literally about 2 minutes, they stopped talking. And no one asked, can we help you? They just like carried on doing this. And one of them, they obviously haven't been trained properly. They made eye contact with me. I went, excuse me. I said, can I... Oh yeah, we'll just get someone. And they already seen that I was trying to get this knife off this thing and it was alarmed, and so they could. But they just stood there talking and just like, what the, you know, dear. So they say to this bloke, oh, can you? He'll go sort it out. He needs to get a key. Now the staff don't have the key on them, right? Well, how's someone going to hold them up? They're not going to hold them up with a bloody knife. They say, I'm holding you up with a knife. Give me the key. Well, you can't hold them up with a knife because the key's attached to the shelf, and you can't. Come over by this shelf and put your head here. So there's that. So this bloke strolls up. Stroll, he's a bit overdoing it really. He didn't stroll so much as trudge. All the way to the back of the shop. No sense of urgency. He'd obviously just finished having his chat with his workmates, so he's got nothing else to do, has he? Serve people and look after customers. I mean, what? So he's buggered off. I'm like, you know, I've got a train to catch. I've got like a quarter of an hour before I have to be out of the shop and on my way to the train. Otherwise I've got another hour to wait for the train. Then I'll be in a really bad mood, but at least I have a knife. Good. So he comes back with no sense of urgency. I said, oh God, yeah, it's all right. He says, and he has to get this thing, and he undoes this, what's name, he pulls this thing off, then he makes this big meal of, God, get the knife, and he's just going to give it to me. And I go, all right. He goes, no, he says, I'll put it behind, I'll put it, when you go to the till, he says, you've got to say to someone, it's behind till number 10. I said, well, does that mean I have to queue up for till number 10? He says, no, queue up for any till, but just tell them, you've got a sharp knife behind till 10. I think, well, they call the police or something. I don't know. Just stab me, like, you know, knife attack. So I'm behind in this queue and all these people. This is done for safety, obviously. It's health and safety. It's to make sure that I don't have an accident in the shop, and you know that I'm going to be responsible with my new knife. And so I get it home, and I've got my new chopping board, I've got my new dishcloth, and I threw the old chopping board out because that was all mank. And the old dishcloth thing was all crap, and I threw that away. I've got this lovely clean kitchen area, and I put some food, like some fish cakes I'm doing, and some rice, and I thought I'll cut up some peppers, so I've got this red pepper, and I'm slicing this red pepper, thinking, oh, this is lovely. This is a really, really juicy red pepper. Look at all the juice coming out of that all over my new chopping board. Wasn't juice, was it? I just cut the end of my bloody thumb off with a new knife. All that health and safety in the shop gone to waste. All there, I can't call it effort because they made no effort. They were doing this, and then when the bloke went to get it, he walked, trudged as slowly as possible, and then wouldn't just, you know. So all that health and safety, so I don't cut myself on this knife and I don't stick it in anybody in the shop. I get it home within 2 seconds. I chop the top of my effing thumb off. Who do I sue? I think I should sue myself. I think it's just stupid. So there's a great, you know, band-aid there, because we don't have, you know, just a bit of loo roll with some sellotape wrapped around the top of it. This is number 4, say, because the others it bled an awful lot, quite a lot. So I mean, do you have that in America when you go and buy guns? You have to get someone, oh, can you get me the gun? And, well, they say, yeah, mate, do you want some more guns with that? Have some guns, loads of guns. So I don't know. I don't live over there. You tell me. Is that ridiculous? Do they do that with knives as well? Or do they just throw them at you? I don't know. So you've got a gun to defend yourself. And gunfight at the OK crowd. Who knows what's going on? What I do know is this is a beer. It's a Citra. It's 4.6%. 4.6%. They never use that as a thumbnail. The ones they always use for the thumbnails. You go through my videos. I'm always doing that in the thumbnails. I don't know why, but I must be doing that at some point in the videos. That's probably definitely that's going to be my 3 choices of thumbnail now, isn't it? It's going to be that, or that. God's sake. Mercurial number 6 did a couple of really good videos on staying calm recently. I'm really enjoying those. So if you haven't caught up with those, go and check those out, because they're very, very sound advice. And I must admit, after watching those videos, I feel a lot calmer than him, which is you know, saying something. So that's really awesome. What other news from here? Oh yeah. So Mercurial number 6 did a video the other week where he just read a review of it was a review of an album by a band called Greta Van Fleet. And I went and listened to them, didn't think much of them, but you know, that's fair enough. But even though he hadn't slated the band, he was just reading a review. All these Greta Van Fleet fans suddenly got on and was like, oh, you're an arsehole, you're this, you're that, you don't understand, we were kids like 2 seconds ago. Do you care if someone hates your favourite bands? Because this is something which I've always had to put up with, because the music I listen to has never really been in vogue. I mean, I got into prog rock in about 1977, just as punk, the antidote to prog rock, was hurling through. When people were becoming skinheads and mods at school and all that, I just sort of discovered heavy metal and was into that, so long hair and leather jacket and all that, and there was only about 4 of us like, with hair and leather jackets in the whole school, among 2,000 skinheads, which was entertaining. Yes, you learn to think on your feet, because they can't. I mean, that's probably what they do used to think, but that probably explains a lot, actually. And the reason I don't care... So I don't care if you hate the bands I love, you see. So, I mean, I was talking to my brother the other week, my favourite band, just on their entire body of work, I don't think I've ever done a Duff album, and they keep changing what they do every few years. King Crimson, absolutely awesome band. Now, I think a lot of people probably wouldn't get on with them, but compared to some of the other bands I listen to, they're like a walk in the park. I mean, I went to see a band called Heldon a few months ago, back in July. Went to see a gig. I think I talked about it on a video. It's an absolutely amazing gig. And it was at this little cafe in London, probably about 100, 150 people in there. It was the hottest day of the year. It was like an absolute oven in there. What a gig though, man. It was absolutely mind-blowing. It was like an onslaught from start to finish, just this intense... It wasn't so much a wall of sound, it's like someone had pulled the bricks out and just thrown them at your face. And it was just insane, absolutely amazing gig. A lot of people who went there probably hadn't actually heard of Heldon, didn't know what they were actually going to watch. They just went because it was an avant-garde rock gig, and so there were people walking out. But what it meant was I got a seat, you see. First of all, it meant, you know, it was in a small venue, because I hate big venues. And so I didn't have to pay like 50 quid or 100 quid for a ticket. It was like 10 quid, 12 quid for a ticket, which is brilliant. You know, that's spend that on a couple of beers. So if you buy a big enough beer, obviously, which you should. And it meant we could get a seat. I sit down, you're this far away from the band, and it's just really nice. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to Heldon Standby under here, and we'll see how many of you actually give it a listen, bearing in mind that the track Standby by Heldon is sort of like an acoustic ballad compared to the gig that we went to. But it does give you an idea of what sort of thing it was, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you hate it, feel free to tell me why in the comments. You know, don't go and insult Heldon, because Richard Pinhouse, their guitar player, is a decent guy. You know, he's on all that, and he's just had one of his bloody guitars stolen. The very guitar I saw him play in London. He was doing a gig in Istanbul the other week, and Air France managed to lose his guitar. When it goes on a trolley, it goes on a plane, it comes off a plane onto a trolley, and it goes in your hand, and lose. So I feel really gutted for him, because it's a beautiful guitar. And in fact, what it is, it's a Fernandez Sustainer, like mine, except his is the top of the range, whereas mine is the bottom of the range. And I was actually thinking about upgrading mine to the same specs that he's got. I still might do that at some point, but I feel a bit guilty now because he's had his favourite guitar nicked, and it's just a horrible, horrible thing. But so I'm going to put Heldon Standby down here. You are free to listen to it, and you know, do you care if people hate your favourite bands? I mean, absolutely hate Oasis. I mean, I can't freaking stand them. I think they are just absolute toilet water. But I know lots of other people who love them. And, you know, Oasis probably sell a lot more records than Heldon and King Crimson and all of the other bands that I like put together. But is it a sign of quality? Who knows? Quantity, not quality, eh? Which is good, which is always a good way to choose your beer. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'll just sort of have a quick chat. I want to say I can't play guitar because I just sliced the top off my thumb, and it seems to have stopped bleeding after about 4 hours. So it's a very good knife. So if you want a really sharp knife, buy a Sabatier. And with that, cheers, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.